Hey everyone, welcome back to Hoopers Nation, your top destination for NBA basketball content. Just 1 year after winning back-to-back championships with the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant shocked the world when he decided to leave the Bay Area. KD was out to prove that he could lead a new team to a championship as the alpha man, as the number one option. That team turned out to be the Brooklyn Nets. But unfortunately, his debut in a Nets uniform was delayed for an entire season due to him tearing his Achilles tendon. But now, Kevin Durant is back. In this video, we'll take a look at KD's amazing play in his first couple games with the Brooklyn Nets and how impressive his recovery from injury looks thus far. But before we do, please make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to this channel, and turn on Hoopers Nation post notifications for more NBA content. Let's start by making something clear. Kevin Durant is one of the most, if not the most talented scorer anybody has ever seen on a basketball court. Michael Jordan made scoring look easy, while James Harden is defying basketball mathematics by remaining ridiculously efficient on all-time usage volumes. Durant is up there, and it's his combination of athletic gifts and natural talents that make him unstoppable. Even though KD is listed at 6'10" in his official NBA profile, it's widely known that he's somewhere closer to 7 feet tall, if not right at 7 feet with shoes. This sort of length combined with an elite jump shot makes it nearly impossible for fellow forwards and wings to block him or defend him consistently. This man nearly averages a 50-40-90 line for his entire career, having averages of 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists on 49.3% shooting from the field, 38.2% from 3, and 88.3% from the free throw line. Since the 2011-2012 season, he's never shot below 50% from the field. He's been 94th percentile or above among forwards on points per shot attempt since 2011. He's a 4-time scoring champion. These are just some examples of his accolades and numbers, but it's really hard to put into words how ridiculously efficient Durant is considering the high volume of shots he takes. It's been like this ever since his second season as a member of the OKC Thunder. In his first year in the league, he averaged 20 points on 43% field goals and 29% from 3, which is quite inefficient for his standards. By next year, he was already up to 25 points per game on 48% field goals and 42% from 3. His high-scoring efficient show continued in OKC for 7 seasons before he decided that his next chapter would come in a Golden State Warriors jersey. When we thought KD was at the apex of the point where efficiency and volume could possibly meet, he proved us all wrong and took things to a whole different level. After averaging 29 points per game in 7 seasons from his third year in the league to 2016, his last one in OKC, Durant didn't have a single campaign of over 26 points per game in Golden State. That may sound like a step back, but KD actually took a step forward in efficiency. In his 3 years as a Warrior, he shot 52.4% from the field, compared to 49.2% in his previous 7 seasons. His 3-point shooting was equally lethal in OKC and Golden State, but it was his 2-point shooting that shot up. Durant shot 58.6% on 2-pointers while in Golden State, compared to 53.3% in OKC. The defensive gravity of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson allowed KD to drastically improve his efficiency in exchange for just 3 points per game. The partnership paid dividends as the Warriors won 2 championships on the 2 years Durant was healthy, with both Finals MVP's awards going to him as well. He was criticized by anybody who wasn't a Warriors fan. He was told that he was a snake and a sellout, that he got 2 cheap rings after signing with a team that beat him in the playoffs, that his Finals MVP trophies didn't mean a thing, that Steph Curry was the true leader of the team, and that Durant could never lead a franchise to a championship as the alpha male. All of these things weighed hard on Durant's mind, which is why he knew when he became a free agent in the summer of 2019, he was out of San Francisco. Unfortunately, his plans on proving doubters wrong were forced to be delayed after KD tore his Achilles tendon in Game 5 of the 2019 NBA Finals. He had already been dealing with a calf injury ever since the second round of that year's playoffs, one that kept him out of the Western Conference Finals and from games 1 through 4 of the NBA Finals. But after Golden State went down 3-1 to the Toronto Raptors, Durant decided he would push through the pain. He played only 12 minutes in Game 5 before tearing his Achilles. The injury would keep him out for the entirety of next season. In the 2019 offseason, KD decided to join his friend Kyrie Irving on the Brooklyn Nets. He would have to watch his new team from the sidelines for 1 full year, but he expected the wait to be worth it. The Nets had done a masterful job of developing a dangerous young core after the deep hole that the franchise dug for themselves in 2013, when they traded for aging stars Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry to pair up with Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, and Brook Lopez. In the process, the Nets gave up 6 first-round picks that conveyed between 2011 and 2018 to acquire everybody in that core except for Lopez, who they drafted in 2008. The whole experiment was a mess, with the washed-up stars falling short of expectations, Williams facing a ton of injury issues, and Brooklyn having few assets left. It was a slow road back to relevancy again, but the Nets made the 2019 playoffs as the 6th seed behind a talented young core. Adding Durant and Irving to this mix would make them one of the East's elite teams. With Durant sidelined for his entire first year with the Nets, Irving was also just held to 20 games and got shut down for the season after undergoing surgery in his shoulder. The Nets' young stars got another year to develop and thrive in increased roles, an opportunity they eagerly took and made the best of. Still, they were swept in the first round of the 2020 playoffs. But everybody knew that starting next season, Durant and Irving were back. But the question was, in what form would they return? The concerns were not so high for Kyrie, but for Durant, an Achilles tear is one of the worst injuries, if not the worst injury, a basketball player can suffer. The Achilles tendon is the thickest and strongest in the entire body, and it connects the calf muscles to the heel bones. It's designed to absorb force after landing from jumps and provides power for takeoff when taking a running step. Looking at players like Wesley Matthews and Rudy Gay, they suffered Achilles tears and recovered successfully, but they've been unable to return to their previous form. Perhaps the scariest example was DeMarcus Cousins, whose mobility and explosiveness was greatly affected with his Achilles tear. He was already slow before the injury, so it only made his movements slower and sloppier after it. Nobody was sure how KD's Achilles tear would affect him particularly. There was some optimism due to the fact Durant has never relied too heavily on his athleticism to dominate the game. But still, most players' jump shots and efficiency drastically got worse once they returned from an Achilles tear. But against all odds, after Durant's first couple of games with the Brooklyn Nets, he's looking like he never left. Except for the blowout season opener win against the Golden State Warriors, Durant scored 29+ points in each of his other first 4 games on 50% plus efficiency. He's shooting 58% from 3, a mark that is unsustainable in the long run, but impressive for a start nonetheless. It's common for players to show some game rust after injury layoffs, especially after one as long as Durant's, but not him. KD went 16 months without playing NBA basketball, and no matter how rough players' workouts are, there's nothing that compares to on-court NBA action. Durant has seamlessly returned to the court bubble and looks every bit as good as he did when we last saw him dominating with the Golden State Warriors. The next question is, just for how long can Durant sustain this? His numbers, particularly his efficiency, are for sure due some regression. As we said earlier, shooting this good is unsustainable throughout an entire season. But it's entirely possible that by the end of the year, Durant's numbers and efficiency end up looking even better than they did in his last healthy season. It's also possible that he regresses a bit too hard and his efficiency dips back to his OKC Thunder days. The Nets are not the Warriors and don't have 4 All-Stars, but they have a damn good squad that is equally designed to make things easy for its 2 stars. With Irving by his side, Durant doesn't need to worry about handling the ball. He can still do it from time to time, just like he did with Stephen Curry. But with a guy as good as Irving is handling the ball, KD can just chill, playing mostly off the ball and kill his matchups with catch-and-shoot threes, pull-up middies, and easy cuts to the rim, just like he did with Steph Curry. See the similarities? That's why it's not crazy to think Durant could be even better than before his injury. Everything else has worked out well for the Nets. The ball is moving a lot, which is quite surprising when you have 2 players who can be heavily ball dominant like Irving and Durant. If you haven't watched a single Nets game this year, please do it. You'll get 2014 San Antonio Spurs vibes when you see how unselfishly these guys rotate the basketball. That's allowed them to generate a bunch of open threes that the team has made at a really solid rate. Karis LeVert has been balling off the bench. The unfortunate season-ending injury to Spencer Dinwiddie takes away an important contributor for the team, and he won't return until next season thanks to a partially torn ACL. But the rest of the team has been stepping up. The Nets have firmly looked like the best team in the Eastern Conference in their first couple of games. Barring the Milwaukee Bucks, nobody else should be able to beat this team in the playoffs. And even the Bucks will have a hard time doing it if they can. With KD playing like this, the East is Brooklyn's to lose. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on Durant's performance throughout the season. If his numbers remain close to how they were pre-injury, this recovery from a torn Achilles could dethrone Dominique Wilkins as the most impressive. Because right now, you couldn't tell Durant was off the court for 16 months. He looks as dominant as ever and hasn't missed a beat. He looks dead set on leading his new team to a championship and proving all doubters wrong. And if what we've seen up to this point is any indication, he's well on his way because Kevin Durant is back like he never left. Do you think KD will have a season as dominant as his last one before tearing his Achilles? How far will the Nets make it in the 2021 playoffs? Make sure to comment your thoughts down below, as well as leaving a like on this video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.